Smiling with the Spotlight, bring you guys another gameplay commentary. This is Black Desert Online, and the console had a major update. PC had that update, I think it was a week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago. We just recently got this update. Essentially, it's a revamp of the add-on system. And, as always, when you make adjustments to the game, right, you have to take into consideration that even though it's mainly a PvE buff, it will impact and have some effect on PvP, and it does. But first of all, the reason behind revamping the add-on system, right? You had some classes that had access to multiple tier 3 skills, and as we know, we've played BDO for an extended period of time. We know that tier 3 add-ons they're very strong, and that can really impact how well a class does in PvE, right? And you had classes like Succession Wusa where they had access to multiple tier 3 skills. I'm sorry, tier 3 add-ons. And along with the fact that a lot of, a Wusa's skill, Succession Wusa's skills have frontal guards, and a lot of its hard hitting, skills also have debuffs. And, add 2 tier 3 add-ons to that, you have a recipe for being a top tier class in PvE. And so Pearl Abyss wanted to do away with that. They wanted to add a bit of parity to PvE classes. So now every class has access to tier 3 add-ons in a sense, right? They've switched it now, right? Not only a few skills would have access to tier 3 add-ons, but what they did was they made it based on the skill's duration, right? So if a skill, and I'll read it here because they did a better job than I did. So standard for skill add-on tiers, right? We organized the skill add-on tiers according to each skill's cooldown timer, right? So cooldown is 5 seconds or below, it's a tier 1 add-on. If cooldown is over 5 seconds but below 13 seconds, it's tier 2. Cooldown is 13 seconds or above, yet skill can be used during cooldown, it's tier 2. So an example, I mained Awakened Sork would be turn back slash. You can still use the skill even though it's on cooldown. You will not have the effect. Meteor is the opposite to that. If Meteor is on cooldown, you cannot use the skill, right? And cooldown is 13 seconds or above, then it's a tier 3 skill add-on, right? So that's essentially what they did. Another thing that I want to point out, which I think is very important, this part here, because I was never certain as to how, identical effect, right? And how the add-ons applied. But now they're telling you, if you have a skill that has a good example, Swirling and Soul Reaper both have down smashes attached to the skill. So if I were to go in, which I do, and add a down smash, which gives an additional 50% chance to down smash, that's a total of 45% chance, because by the standard is 30% chance to land a down smash. You add the additional 15%, that's 45% chance. I didn't know if it reapplied prior to the change, right? To this revamp and I guess update. Now I know if I use the effect, right, which is a down smash, it refreshes, right, instead of going through the duration. So I use Swirling and a down smash is there, and then I use Soul Reaper. It resets the add-on effect. So that was very, very helpful to me. Now when it comes to Sork, because I made an Awakened Sork, They made a few changes, a slight nerf to Sork, but again, I've always said this, PA, Pearl Abyss, it's their game. They can do as they, see fit. I can only play the game. I just have to, work through it. I don't know why they would add damage to Rebombs. The only thing I can think about, this is mainly for PvE. And that's probably the only thing I would think about. Abyssal Blow, maybe for PvP because, some Sorks use this skill. This is a ranged CC. I don't particularly find this skill appealing or having any particular utility whatsoever, so I don't use the skill. I don't know, but these skills are PvP wise, they're only used for me at least, right? And I'm speaking just for myself. Doesn't necessarily mean it's etched in stone or it's factual. These are all anecdotal, right? So, I only use Rebombs for either a quick movement to go from awakened to pre-awakened, or to get a CC. And that's probably it. I never think like, wow, I'm getting ready to do a massive amount of damage. They've made some changes to Grim. I never knew, because I charge my Grim all the time and I thought I was getting that additional damage. Apparently that was not the case, and now they fixed it somewhat. They cannot fix it to the point where you charge, you get the damage. So what they've done is they've added the effect regardless. So Grim gets more damage. Perfect. Now they've made some changes here. They've increased the damage, which is perfect. Dead Hunt. This is a skill that will allow you to kill players now. Even before, right? And this has a knockdown associated with it, which is perfect because I use Dead Hunt in my combos, right? It's unprotected. If you're in open world, you don't necessarily use it unless it's, you're able to do it and you are aware of your surroundings, and you won't get caught. So I would definitely use it. This is a really, really good skill. I would definitely use this in for any new Sork. This is a layup. Definitely use this skill. Grim Reaper's Judgment. They increase the damage, right? Reduce the PvP damage by 4.1%, 4.3%. Blade of Darkness. They increase the damage here. The only way I would think this is the reason they increase the damage is because of PvE. Again, this is a PvE patch. Now here's a slight nerf. What they've done is the blades will. This is Blade of Darkness. The blades will last for a shorter period of time than before. I tested it. It went from 10 seconds to 7 seconds. Right. I play behind blades often, right? I use it as a way to play neutral. I use it as a way to cross up players. I use it as a way to keep players honest, right? They've made that change, and I think this has a lot to do with PvE. I saw a video where a guy was using Sork, an awakened Sork, where most people think it has a lot of APM, actions per minute. It's an APM heavy class when it comes to both PvP and PvE. And this player was able to use blades in his rotation, right? In his combo rotation for PvE. And he was getting, I think it was either double or a third more than the top tier grinder in the new region in terms of loot. So I think this is probably the reason why they made this nerf, right? Also, the blades will now attack in faster intervals, right? In PvE, you cast this, you try to either launch it immediately or you play around it and then launch it. But that 3-second duration loss is, to me, it's a nerf. But you gotta do what you gotta do. The other thing is, this was a very, they didn't even mention this as if it's a big thing, But we went from Kaffir's level 15 to Kaffir's level 20, right? This doesn't necessarily affect me that much because I pretty much have most of my gear is already C15. I just have one to go to C20. I have Pen Black Star, so I'm almost there. So I will have C20 in probably a week or so. We now also have Gyfin, which is an amazing spot. This is mainly for veteran players and players who are geared. So I would definitely be careful if you go here with if you go here with anything less than 380 DP, you're in trouble, right? You will get one-shotted. There's a one-shot mechanic. There just a lot of things going on. If you know even if you know the mechanics, you will run into issues because I think one of them is like a DPS kind of push, and if you can't make that DPS push, you definitely run into issues. But essentially, this is it. I'm out.